Connection store, or scan the link that's going to show up on the screen shortly, and it'll take you straight to our website where you can also sign up. Hope to see you soon.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Kaya Gibson, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We are wishing you a happy birthday, and we say thank you for always watching. And now we swing it over to the nation's capital for an historic ceremony in New Providence as the countdown continues to the 50th anniversary of independence on July 10th. Julian Reed and Jimenita Swain are standing by.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
The countdown to 50 starts now. Good evening, I'm Julian Reed.
And good evening, I'm Jimenita Swain, and we're coming to you live from Boston Square. So much activity is happening here in the square. As you said, it's the road to 50, but tonight is a very special occasion. And tell us why, Jay.
Absolutely. The grand unveiling of the Bahamas 50th anniversary theme and logo is going to happen. It's coming to you in just a few minutes, but there's a lot that's going to be going on tonight just to get Bahamians here in the Bahamas and in the diaspora in the mood for independence.
And so far, you see the crowd from your shot, you see the crowd in the mood. That is because the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band has been promoting Bahamian music non-stop from they got set up here on the stage, and they've been doing their thing. They've really gotten the crowd involved. So if you're still planning on coming down here, you have an opportunity to grab a seat and get comfortable for a night filled with so much fun, so much activity. Of course, the Police Force Pop Band is on the lineup, but they're not the only ones here tonight, Julian. We're going to hear from the Bahamas National Youth Choir. They're waiting in the wings and ready to go. But who else are we going to hear from?
You're going to hear from the cast of Music of the Bahamas, from the Dundas. It's so important to have other aspects of our cultural existence part of the independence celebrations. Of course, we're going to have that Junkanoo rush hour too at the end, and fireworks. But there's a lot that's going to be here. We're going to hear from our Prime Minister. Of course, we're going to hear from the head of the Secretariat, Her Excellency Leslie Miller-Price. And of course, in a minute, we're going to introduce you to the permanent secretary of the Independence Secretariat to give us a little more insight into the plans for tonight and going forward.
And as we have told you, this is indeed the place to be. If you want to get ready, if you want to feel the anticipation, the energy of the road to 50, well, the Secretariat has definitely decided to get you in the mood tonight. But of course, we have other members of our team standing in the wings. So tell us who else is waiting to hear from us.
Well, the energy is definitely here. But right now, we're going to let you go to Lloyd Allen, who's in the thick of it. Lloyd.
Well, good afternoon, Julian. Bahamas, happy 50th. Of course, everyone, if you want to be a Bahamian officially, you're going to have to be out here at Rawson Square. As you can see behind me, droves of Bahamians have converged, all preparing now to see the unveiling and the theme for the 50th anniversary. And again, we have droves of persons out here downtown, sitting right behind me. We have a number of politicians. I saw a bamboo shack out here. And for those of you who aren't here yet, of course, there are several booths set up as well for all of you to get your Bahamian must-haves. That's that bamboo shack and all those other products. But of course, the excitement here on the ground is very, very revved up. Many persons looking forward to what this theme is going to be this year. And of course, I think it's going to be an exciting one going into our 50th. Julian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Lloyd. And of course, we're going to be coming to you throughout the evening. This whole thing should last about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's going to be enough to make you feel like independence is on the way. Right. So, what did you think about the crowd and what Lloyd had to say?
I like the crowd involvement. I mean, one of the things he mentioned is food, and just in Bankley, and let me tell you, there is conch salad, there is Mother Freeze, some ice cream. So it's a good mix of Bahamian culture on display, whether it's food, whether it's song, whether it's dance, speech, drama. It's a good mix to get us in the mood to head and officially into 50. As we said earlier, we had an opportunity to go to the nation to come up with a theme, to come up with a logo for the 50. And we'll get an opportunity tonight to see what they came up with, what the winners came up with in terms of their interpretation of what the 50th is all about.
Well, it's amazing because I understand that the way that they came up with it, there were 3 winners, and they took bits and pieces out of each one of them to come up with one final product. So it should really be interesting to see that.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see that. But of course, an impressive show must have an impressive producer. And we had an opportunity to speak to the producer, Mr. Fred Ferguson, on proper preparing for these activities. Take a look.
Yeah.
Remember firsthand that this is the introduction to the 50th anniversary of the nation's independence. So this is going to set the tone, because at this event we are unveiling the logo and we are unveiling the theme, so the entire country can be united under one umbrella. It's an event that is going to be that is going to showcase all the things that the spirit that independence is going to be. 1973, I was still in school, but I was in high school in Deadman's Key, Long Island. I was going to school at NGM Major High, and at that time, I was at the park near the airport in Deadman's Key, and I played the organ for the raising of the flag and the first singing of the national anthem there. So I don't have the experience of what happened at Clifford Park, but my experience was just as meaningful, because this was the first time the flag was going up in an independent Bahamas. So everyone felt that spirit, and so we need to ensure that it remains going into 50 years. Those who are watching from television, they'll be able to feel the spirit, because we're doing all of these things. We have a speech that's going to be Wanasa Linden's speech. You know, we have singing by the National Youth Choir. The cast of the Dundas is singing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. And so at the end, though, it culminates with the Prime Minister unveiling this logo and the theme. And of course, we can't do anything bigger than with Junkanoo. And this time, just because it's historic, One Family Junkanoo group is going to be the group, because they're the 2-time winners and led by a woman. So all of these are, you know, historic things that we try to implement to make sure that the spirit that we want year 50 or year 1, as we said, to be, is going to be that.
And there you have it, Julian. We heard a little bit from the producer, Fred Ferguson, at Independence Time, 1973. He told us he was in Long Island, just in high school, doing his thing. And you know from Mr. Ferguson's portfolio, he was a part of the Independence celebrations last year. He probably will have a hand in these celebrations.
Oh,
but
I'm sure.
Obviously, he's done a lot to give us that nostalgic feel of the 50th. I wasn't born in time for 1973. I came after that. But of course, from what I'm seeing, I'm enjoying all the moments so far.
So that means the 50th will be a very special one in your memory for you.
Yes.
It
yes.
will be for me too, but I was actually at Clifford Park with my father on the 9th of July 1973, and I saw the Union Jack come down and the Bahamas flag go up, and I'm going to tell you, it was an extremely proud moment. I was only 9 years old, but I knew the Bahamas was on a path to something great.
That was going to be my question to you, if you felt the significance of the moment.
Everyone did. There were tears all around. It was just a really emotional experience.
As they say, the birth of a nation, eh?
And look at our Bahamian people go.
Dressed in their national colors, feeling all the movements. Like I say, this is, of course, the sound of the Royal Bahamas Police
We're going to take a
Force.
little break right now, Jim Anita, and then we're going to come back with our first guest. Stay with us.
Working with the guidance counselors, for instance, and working with teachers, and ensuring that the programs are put into the schools in preparation for the national event of independence. Because we were going to things new, we were going into new waters.
Yeah.
Of course, everything had to be new. There was a new constitution, of course, and there was then there had to be the new flag, the new national anthem. Everything was new. So therefore, that was a great task for education.
Independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, glory now. Independent Bahamas.
Bad boy or baby? Or you's a bad baby?
You are the responsible stopper. That's why you trying to change? Who are you talking to, me?
I can deal with this, but that, go to sleep. Trying involves oxen, you did nothing.
Call like a baby crying. Let's go.
What's your name? That is a number. What is your name?
Work off some of this energy, y'all up. We doing this dumb thing, so let's be doing.
Left. Let's go, genius. Get it right. Left.
So what that means, y'all have the opportunity to do what? Yeah, so what y'all can do?
Well, welcome back to Bay Street, where the heart of New Providence, you're having this amazing unveiling tonight for the 50th anniversary of independence, logo and theme. Now, if you're watching us via television and you just tuned in, it is not too late to get down here to Bay Street in the Russell Square and Parliament Square, where it's all going down.
As you can see, the Bahamians are out in their national colors with that national pride on display. I mean, I love the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band. They're definitely always in place to put on a show.
And they're tough warm tonight. They're about to get loose.
Well, they already got the crowd warm, though.
Absolutely.
And of course, I wish you could see it, but we have an artist on stage. Mr. Preston Hanna is his name. He's a local art teacher as well, and he is actually doing a live painting right now. So there is culture in every aspect on display here in Rawson Square tonight.
It's amazing to see how that has progressed so far. I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah, because it just started out with an aqua background.
Absolutely.
So from the duration that we have been out here, that's probably from after 6, Mr. Hanna has been at it. Like you say, we would like to see the finished product. But of course, joining us now is a very special person, and the person of the Permanent Secretary for the Independent Secretariat, Mr. Jack Thompson. Mr. Thompson, welcome.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much for your kind words of introduction. It's good to be here.
So a lot, I imagine, is going into the planning of the 50th, but talk to us about the preparations for this evening's activities.
Well, we work under the auspices of the National Independence Commission. The National Independence Commission would set the stage as to what they want, and the National Independence Secretariat will then execute. So we know that we wanted a very powerful logo and theme for this year. And we thought of a number of venues by which to stage this event. We look at the Sports Center, we look at Southern Recreation Grounds, we look at a few places, and then we say, we better go to Rawson Square, you know, and we agreed, we settled on it. It's been lots of nights, it's been a lot of tweaking, it's been a lot of take this out, put this in, take that out, this, that. And as you said, to promote culture, our cuisine. I mean, I want to really say that for those who are contemplating, right? Because we have salty sausage, we have the cup,
I saw the
we have the baijies, we have the pastries, we have chicken in the bag. So we have a lot of giveaway food after the event. I won't say that, you know. That I couldn't say before, but now that we're here, I'm going to let the cat out the bag. We have lots of stuff.
Well, Mr. Thompson, with such an amazing and grand event tonight,
yeah,
we can only imagine what's going to be happening on the way to July 9th.
Absolutely.
And then beyond.
Someone said that to me last night when we were out there looking around. Someone said that you've set the bar so high. I mean, the expectations now for the 9th and going through, it's phenomenal. But we wanted to set this stage this way. We wanted people to know that we're serious about 50. We waited 50 years for this one moment in time. We will not be 50 again, and so we're excited, very excited about what's going to happen this year. Not only here on the island of New Providence, but even throughout the Family Islands. I'm just impressed by the various programs, the schedules, the activities. I mean, it's just mind-blowing what's going to happen.
And there is deep Family Island involvement in these celebrations, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our overseas missions, I have to put a plug in for our overseas missions. Ambassador Ron Pinder, he's been coordinating and working with them. So listen, this is a year to remember.
Now, I've got to ask you this because someone's been asking me about it and I couldn't say. Are there any music competitions that are going to be part of these celebrations, and particularly in the schools, just to get them in the feel of independence?
Absolutely. We are, once this logo is launched tonight, we're going to now move into that song competition. Yeah. We want to have a number of things, but we're going to disclose and reveal all that starting next week. What all we're going to be doing, a number of activities, number of things, and the school competition is very important. Yes.
Well, it's getting hotter and hotter out here in Rawson Square, and to find out how hot it is, let's go to Lloyd Allen.
Well, this is actually the launch of a myriad of events, and there's a large number of events that's going to happen here in New Providence and around the islands of the Bahamas. And we want people to understand that this 50th anniversary is not a Nassau-centric event. We're going throughout the islands of the Bahamas celebrating 50 years of independence. So it's going to be a lot of activities, a lot of friendly family activities, a lot of upscale activities, great entertainment, a lot of history, and we're going to take a journey down those 50 years, 1 year at a time in some instances. Well, I was there at the first one in 1973 at Clifford Park. I was a little fella then, about 18 years old, and I specifically remember standing on the northern section of Clifford Park, which would have been kind of at the back of the activities. and joining in with the excitement of seeing that Union Jack come down and that Bahamian flag go up for the first time. It was a magical moment. And we certainly hope to be able to recreate that moment for those of us who were there 50 years ago and cause those now, 50 years later, to appreciate how special that moment was for all of us.
Well, if you're just tuning in, there is our Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis. I know he must be exceptionally proud to actually be at the helm of the country during this 50th anniversary.
Yes, I imagine so. There's been a host of dignitaries arriving. We see Mrs. Davis in the background as well, in the hat, and obviously she always likes a lot of music, so she's always
she loves music.
Yeah, so it's a lot happening, but we heard a few minutes ago from Ronald Barefoot Sims. He is, of course, the stage director for this production. He shared with us where he was. He was 18 at the time of independence, and we get the sense that there wants to be a nostalgic theme for this particular 50th celebrations.
And let's bring Mr. Thompson back in here because, you know, we heard him Barefoot talking about what goes into this. And you obviously were working with these artistic people. What was that experience like for you?
Which is, sorry?
Barefoot, the stage director. What is it like working with these artistic people for you?
Oh, wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience. I've worked with Barefoot and Fred over the years, and I can tell you, they are all about excellence. You know, they are about making sure that we execute well, make sure that we're on time, and it's just been a wonderful experience. This evening's production is evidence of their hard work, their professionalism, and precision. And we have talked everything there is, as you know, a backup script, and we're going to follow it. We will start on time, and we have a script that we're going by. It's been wonderful.
And obviously this is, I guess, a theme that they've set from the last independence celebrations as well, because I know that they were involved at that point, and they ensured that everything went on time, went smoothly. I think they were also involved in a royal visit to a degree as well. And we know
the royal visit, the Duke and Duchess.
Yes.
This event is very important because this is going to set the stage. This is the template for us moving forward. I assure you of that. And we're ready. We're ready.
And the bleachers are all filled up now.
So I guess you're going to have to rely on us to bring you all of the action, all of the activity that is, of course, happening here at Rawson Square. And it's a lot of fun. How are you feeling?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. 100% mood change than earlier today.
And, of course, our Lloyd Allen is moving about. Lloyd, who do you have with you so far this evening?
Well, Germanita, we're right here in the crowd, in the mix of things. I have two lovely ladies here representing
Minister Stephanie Frith. I represent Princess God Ministries, also Civil Society, Seawell, Department of Gender Affairs. How much you want me to name?
That's everything. And what about you, ma'am?
Sheba Davis, New Providence, represent the Princess God Directorship.
Now, of course, the Bahamas, the whole entire Bahamas is watching. If there's one thing you wanted to know about this celebration tonight, what would you tell them?
I love to say that in 1973, I was 14 years old, and therefore I'm now celebrating with pride at 64.
Today's her birthday, by the way.
All right, it's our birthday. Happy birthday, Sheba!
So as you guys can see, we're out here having a great time. And of course, this is going on for the next few hours. Back to you guys upstairs.
What a way for her to actually celebrate her birthday, huh?
A great kickoff. I see she's fully immersed in the mood. She has been shaken up from the police band started.
I tell you, a free party.
Easily. And you know, the police band is always about precision as well. You talked about that in terms of the producer and the director, but our cultural icons, such as the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, they are serious about their craft. From the musicians to the singers, they are often on point. They're the showstoppers.
That's right. If I may say something about birthdays, We are trying to put together the list of all persons celebrating 50th birthdays this year, particularly those who were born on July 10, 73. Absolutely. And I understand there's about 10 to 15 of them. So we're looking them up.
Wow.
They're going to be a part of the celebration.
Special prizes or
that's right. Special prizes, special recognition. July 10, 73. Is that your birthday? Oh man, we're going to party. So our office is at 1 Montague, 2nd floor.
Wow.
So you're listening out. If you're turning 50 on July 10th, the cat is out the behind.
Absolutely.
Mr. Thompson letting you know, send your information into the Independent Secretariat and see what you can get. I know. If it's any indication from what we're seeing out here, I think it can be some good prizes. So first come, first serve.
Mr. Thompson, I can tell you, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
For your work in
thank you for having me.
This forward.
You always do such a wonderful job, both of you. Thank you. Thank you.
We will be back with more right after this.
Good man, we're gonna sit down and have a coke, yes?
You've seen the shows.
Whoa, you want to tell me you don't listen to your mommy?
You like to be tough. That's why of your mouth is up. Don't you understand me?
Now, find out where some of them are today.
Some guys smoke like 4 times a day. It is a good program.
Curious onlookers swarming the scene of a shooting incident on Jerome Avenue.
Shock treatment, where are they now?
He just was caught up in the wrong things out there.
You want me to sit on you? Get it together.
Tuesday at 8 on the ZNS Network.
Ordinary People is back with a new season. Join us on the ZNS Network.
Anybody drugs the most? Not New York's bestsellers, the hood bestseller.
I like that. Coming soon.
People are only going to say yes or no. And if they say no, keep on trying until you get a yes.
Ordinary People.
Independent Bahamas, Bahamas, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, independent Bahamas, Bahamas, Bahamas.
But of all the things we have done, there isn't anything that is greater than this challenge we face in the Bahamas today to save our young people from being marginalized, from being regarded as the villains in the society. Because all those young men that commit some of these heinous crimes, we have to recognize that their parents failed them and society failed them. We've got to rescue them. Because if we don't rescue them, all we have done in the last 40 years will come to naught.
Independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, independent Bahamas, independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, independent Bahamas, independent Bahamas, Bahamas.
Working with the guidance counselors, for instance, and working with teachers and ensuring that the programs are put into the schools in preparation for the national event of independence. Because we were going to things new, we were going into new waters.
Yeah.
Of course, everything had to be new. There's a new constitution, of course, and there was then there had to be the new flag, the new national anthem. Everything was new. So therefore, that was a great task for education.
Independent Bahamas, 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 independent Bahamas, Bahamas, for independence, independent Bahamas.
And if you're just joining us, we're coming to you live from Bay Street for, of course, the grand unveiling. Now, joining me live is a very special guest in the person of Mr. Irvin Taylor. In 1973, he was the chief superintendent with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. But one of the things that he did on that day, July 9th, heading into July 10th, was hoist the Bahamian flag for the first time. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Taylor. How did you feel on July 10th to be in a position to raise the flag for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Well, I took it as an honor to be asked to do that because there were a lot of other people who were quite capable of doing the same thing. But I think that the powers that be decided to carry the best with them, and that best happened to be me.
And you were part of a two-man team, weren't you, Mr. Alfred Williams, your colleague, who took the Union Jack down?
Yes.
And you?
Alfred, he took the Union Jack down, and I put up the Bahamian flag for the first time.
Wow. Lots of practice, of course.
We had to do a lot of practice. But the thing about it is what we didn't know.
Okay. We got to go to the national anthem right now. March on Bahama Land.
Let us pray. Most gracious and holy Father, we give you thanks and praise as the most thankful people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Honored that we can come into the square of Rawson where the power was transferred from the house to the people. As we make our way to a 50th grand celebration, we ask that you would bless our efforts, bless our gathering, but most of all, bless our country. That everything that is said and done as we focus on you, this Jubilee celebration, indeed, you will get the honor and you will get the glory. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And now please welcome the cast of Shakespeare in Paradise's Music of the Bahamas.
Lord, yeah.
Testing.
Yeah. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Oh, since I lay my burden down. Oh, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burden down. Yeah, yeah. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Oh, since I lay my burden down. Oh, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burden down. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Oh, since I lay my burden down. Yeah. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burden down. Speed it up. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I lay my burden down. Oh, glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, I feel better. So much better. Oh, since I laid my burden down. Yeah, I feel better. So much better. Since I laid my burden down. I feel better. So much better. Oh, since I laid my burden down. Lay it down now. I feel better. So much better. Since I laid my burden down. Yeah. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Oh, since I laid my burden down. Yeah. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down. Lay down. Put it at the feet of the cross. Lay down. And don't pick your boy's pocket.
And now the preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, read by Mr. Lamar Williams.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks, and keys heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now know ye, therefore, we, the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, to hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide, by these articles, for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
And now please welcome Her Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce, Ambassador to CARICOM and the Chair of the National Independence Secretariat.
The most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith, Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Prime Minister Philip E. Brave Davis and Mrs. Davis, to all cabinet ministers, fellow parliamentary colleagues, members of the Diplomatic Corps, permanent secretaries, all dignitaries and distinguished guests, to fellow members of the Independence Commission, to all of you, our invited guests, our most gracious audience, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bahamians tuned in across the Bahamas and the world. Good evening. This evening, it is my singular honor and privilege on behalf of the National Independence Commission to advance this special welcome to you. As chair of the Independence Secretariat, and most importantly, as a Bahamian, I am bubbling over with excitement because the Bahamas is turning 50. Prime Minister Davis, I wish to take this opportunity to pause and say thank you to you and the entire cabinet of the Bahamas for entrusting myself and this vibrant group of young and seasoned professionals to develop and execute a world-class year of events and activities. It is our prayer to make you and the Bahamian people truly proud. I have taken the liberty to not just welcome you to tonight's unveiling, but to welcome you to the year of our 50th Jubilee. I can assure you, Bahamas, that we are expected to have a grand celebration from now until July 2024. A year and a half of activities that encompasses all that we've accomplished and all we hope to achieve in the next 50 years and beyond. Tonight's launch is only the tip of the jubilant iceberg. Following a year of public engagement, focus groups, keen discussions, pollings, and submissions, we've created what we believe to be one of the best celebrations the Bahamas has ever seen. Our calendar of events promises to include all Bahamians. Did I say all? All Bahamians of all interests, all ages, and representing all islands, and ensuring Bahamians all around the world are connected and joining in the celebrations. This is not a celebration for some of us. This is a grand celebration for all of us. All of us. I welcome you to stay tuned via social media and the major media outlets. Attend as many events as possible. Share your own independence stories and join in the year of Jubilee. With the Road to 50 race, we demonstrated that we can accomplish when we expand our festivities beyond our capital shores. To see Bahamians everywhere, walking, running, jogging, and rolling to the sounds of Junkanoo and Rake and Scrape. From Bimini in the north to Inagua in the south, we've showed we are ready, we are excited, and we are truly proud to be Bahamian. Tonight is no different. 20 plus of our Family Islands districts are watching right now at the various watch parties across the nation, and our Bahamian diaspora is tuned in from the USA to Canada, across Asia, Europe, throughout the Caribbean. And I want to ensure that they feel just as welcome as you do tonight. So if you can join me in waving your flags at the cameras and saying hello. Tonight's unveiling marks the official launch of our year of Jubilee and celebrations. The creation of our official logo, theme, and pattern represents the undeniable value of our creatives, the gift of innovation, but also the necessity of collaboration. After hundreds of concept submissions, we combine the works of these talented young Bahamians to create our official theme and pattern and logo. Mr. Devante Butler, Mrs. Kirsten Lockhart Pinder,
Mr. Darrell Williams, Mr. Nicholas Barnes. Thank you all for sharing your ideas, your time, your talents with our country. While it was a competition and you enjoy your winnings, what you presented along with your fellow contestants was truly a gift to all of us. To all of you that participated, sent in ideas and concepts, thank you for taking the time, contributing to your country, and expressing your Bahamian pride through sketches and high-quality submissions. Bahamas, I am sure you will be seeing a lot of me this year, so I shall take my seat very soon. But before I do, I want to answer two questions that came up a lot during our public engagement exercises. The first one, what is there to even celebrate? First, before we can celebrate, I challenge you to ask yourself, what is there to learn? Being under 50 myself, I believe we don't always appreciate what it was like before 1973. We don't fully appreciate the achievement of the right to vote for all Bahamian men and women, the fight of our forefathers and our foremothers, the struggle to achieve what we sometimes take for granted today, the gaps of economic achievement due to socioeconomic status, race, and gender. While we agitate for more to be done, we must not forget to reflect on how far we've come. I urge you all to come out and tune in to our masterclass events, attend lecture series, watch the documentaries, attend the exhibits and official productions when launched, and dive deep into our history, our journey, and our legacy. But don't forget to tap into your personal resources. Sit at your grandmother and grandfather's feet. Hear the stories, listen to their journeys and how far our families and our communities have advanced over the past 50 years. You will be surprised of how much more there is to celebrate. Secondly, in spite of our challenges, the question has been asked, what have we achieved? In spite of destructive hurricanes, the global pandemic, economic challenges, social ills we face, we as a people still find a way to rise like a phoenix from ashes. We are Rhodes Scholars, NBA and WNBA superstars, best-selling authors, world-renowned surgeons, playwrights, Olympians, international champions in sports and academics, top chefs and mixologists, CEOs and business executives, award-winning fashion designers, photographers, filmmakers, artists, artisans, brand leaders, creators, inventors, but most of all, defiers of the odds. Do not ever for a second doubt the fact that this is the greatest little nation in the world. And for that indomitable spirit, the bounce back like only Bahamians can do, that resilience, there is truly a lot to celebrate. Finally, I challenge you to celebrate the keen opportunity and the possibility to shape the next 50 years. We live in a democratic nation where with our acts, we can equally choose our leaders. With our voices, we can openly express our demands, agitate for change, without hesitation or fear, share our frustrations and disappointments. With our time, we can mentor, teach, empower, uplift our young people, and shape the next generation. With our patience, our care, and respect, we can honor our elderly and pay homage to the past generation. With our gifts and talents, we can expand our industries, influence diversification, and strategically develop solutions to our modern-day problems. With our power, we can connect, collaborate, and commune together to march forward, upward, onward together. If you can't find anything to celebrate about the past 50 years. Celebrate the fact that wherever you are, you can shift the direction of the next 50 years. In your home, in your family, your community, your district, your key, your island, by your positive contribution, your positive attitude, and a positive perspective that the best is truly yet to come for these 700 islands and keys that belongs to all of us. As we unveil this logo, theme, and pattern, it is my prayer that there's something in the design that catches your eye, holds your heart, and ignites your Bahamian pride. In the intricacies of the design, may you feel seen. In the carefully curated pattern, may you feel included. In the meticulous selection of words within our theme, may you feel heard. Again, I welcome you, and I look forward to celebrating with you all year long. Thank you, and may God continue to bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
And that was Her Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce, Ambassador to CARICOM and the Chair of the National Independence Secretariat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Bahamas National Youth Choir, followed by Miss Giovanna Hepburn with a presentation of Celindan's historic speech marking our independence, accompanied by a video highlights of other notable speeches. The Bahamas National Youth Choir.
Celebrate and have fun. Celebrate, it's
Your Royal Highness, Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Senators, Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters.
As head of the government,
10 years ago,
I feel a deep
there at historic Church House in London, the first bold steps were taken on the road to independence.
would share this feeling and sense that many new and pressing demands will be made upon them in the interests of our beloved nation. You would know that it took a great deal of hard work to reach this glorious point in our history in order to fulfill our true and great destiny. As we lift up our heads to the sun rising over our beautiful Bahama land, let us all march on to glory, steadfast in our Christian heritage. With faith in God and faith in our country and our people, we can rise to whatever heights we aspire to, and these can be achieved by our continuing efforts. My fellow Bahamians, our raised flag is a signal of a new era for all Bahamians, a signal for us to take our place among the free nations of the world. We must remember that all of us are partners in this great effort to build a better Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Mrs. Giovanna Hepburn. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Philip E. Brave Davis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you very much, and please be seated. To the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius Smith, our Governor General, to our Acting Chief Justice Bernard Turner, my cabinet colleagues, parliamentary colleagues, the Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Cartwright, to our former Prime Ministers, Hubert Alexander Ingram and Mrs. Ingram, and Perry Gladstone Christie, Dame Marguerite Pindling, our former Governor General and the wife of the father of our nation. His Excellency Leslie Bryce, chair of our National Independence Secretariat, to my lovely wife, Anne-Marie, who is here with me, and to all of you here, Bahamians. My friends, history is not inevitable. We didn't have to be here, and it didn't have to turn out like this. I thank God that it is we who live to see the dream of independence fulfilled. And I thank God that at our Golden Jubilee, it is we who are truly blessed to celebrate the legacy of 50 years. Just after midnight on July 10th, 1973, words were not enough to express the feeling in our hearts when our flag, our Bahamian flag, was raised for the first time on the sacred ground of Clifford Park. And later, as we lift our heads towards the rising sun, we knew that something profound had happened. The Commonwealth of the Bahamas had been born. It was, and always will be, a singular event never to be repeated. What joy was there in that dawn to be alive. But it didn't have to turn out like this. At any moment, there might have been another path taken, another road traveled. When women finally won the right to vote on February 9, 1961, the victory was not certain, given the fierce opposition of key figures in the then ruling party. But they gained the right to vote, which was a critical step towards achieving majority rule. When the Speaker's mace came flying out of that window of the House of Assembly on April 22nd, 1965, things might have taken a different turn. Sir Milo Butler, led by Sir Lyndon Pindling, and many in the crowd may have been subject to violent suppression. But thank God, it landed peacefully and they lived on to fight another day. And when the general election was held on September 19th, 1972, there were 5 parties acrimoniously contesting for votes, reflecting the stark divisions in the country about whether or not we were ready for independence. Had the result not been clear and decisive, the British would not have agreed that it was the right time for the Bahamas to become independent. It really didn't have to turn out like this. But it did, and here we are. The vision and courage and determination of so many people have brought us to this moment. We are the children and grandchildren of those visionary, courageous, and determined people. This is our inheritance, and it is now up to us, each of us, to improve the course, steady sunward, to chart a better future for us all. My friends, the promise of independence was more than just freedom from colonial rule. It was also the promise of self-determination, the right to shape our own destiny. When we joined the United Nations in 1973 and became a distinctive part of the international community, our founding father, Sir Lyndon Pindling, set out our credo to the General Assembly. He said, and I quote, "We wish to live in peace. We wish to satisfy the needs, both spiritual and physical, of our own people. We wish to be neither dominated or cursed, and we wish to build a society built on the sound foundation of constitutional authority." And so it is. This 50th anniversary year of independence, we that have much to celebrate. The legacy of the past 50 years is found in the many successes, triumphs, and accomplishments of Bahamians, both home and abroad. In the trades and professions, in sport and the arts, in public, corporate, and civic life, we have built a nation. And countless numbers of Bahamians have built and shaped the institutions and culture which constitute our modern Bahamas. Throughout the course of this year, let us celebrate what we have. Let us celebrate the contributions of outstanding Bahamians. Let us reflect on the moments of challenges and crisis and remember those we have lost. Let us discuss and debate so that we might confirm a shared vision of our future. Let us sing and dance and make music and recite poetry and produce dramas that show to all the world what it is to be Bahamian. And as we celebrate, let us each leave a personal legacy from this year. As we move forward into our Golden Jubilee celebrations, I invite every person in our Bahama Islands around the world, every citizen, every resident, and every friend of the Bahamas to join me in making 2 pledges during this Independence year. First, pledge to participate. Don't just sit on the sidelines watching and leave it to others. Actively participate in at least one independence activity this year. No matter your age or stage of life, no matter how busy you are or how beset by current troubles, do something meaningful to mark the 50th anniversary. This moment belongs to us all. Participate in an official event or work with others to mark independence in your own way. We are all part of the fabric of this nation, and we each have a role to play in our national development. Secondly, I want you to pledge to make our country stronger. Set yourself a personal goal to achieve something, to do something, to learn a new skill, or lift yourself up in some way, so that by the end of this year, you can point to a personal achievement. Learn a new trade, or learn how to farm. Walk every day, or read a book every month. Learn Grammy's recipe for peas and rice, or decide to cut out peas and rice for the year. Whatever it is, let it be something that helps to take you closer to the vision you have for your life. A strong country rests on strong communities. So what are you doing to build your community? Can you tutor a child, help a struggling family, grow a garden, bring an elderly relative to the doctor, become more active in your church, or share your talents and skills with the next generation? If each one of us commits to doing something, then at the end of the year, in a very real and tangible way, we'll live in a better Bahamas. Friends, let us make this year a year to remember. I have no doubt that the road on which we will have trod will indeed lead us to our God. One nation marching together toward a common, loftier goal. Our legacy cloaked in the banners which we continue to wave high so that the world can mark the manner of our bearing. Our future, for which the responsibility falls on us to determine. The future is not inevitable. We have the power to shape it. And though the wide and treacherous shoals will certainly bring their challenges, we are more than capable of navigating them. 50 years from now, let our children and grandchildren stand here and say that we were the ones who made it happen. We were the ones who really delivered on the promise of independence. And so I say, march on. March on. March on, our wonderful Bahama land. March on. God bless you and thank you.
And that was the Honorable Philip E. Davis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And in an effort to ensure that a wide cross-section of Bahamians were involved in the 50th anniversary celebrations, a logo competition was held. On our video screen now are the top 3 finalists of the official logo competition.
Hi, my name is Devante Butler, and what inspired my logo design is I wanted something that wasn't generic, but also a little obvious. So after looking through, I looked at the way our islands, the archipelago flew, and I realized that it was a slight S form, and I was like, I need that. So I didn't know how to incorporate it at first. I just started to do random sketches, but every sketch started with the curve. And I just kept trying to find ways to put it in, and then I finally figured it out. The top of the 5, and it goes into the O. And then it bursts into a palm tree leaf, and I was like, this is it right here. I wanted a pattern, but I didn't know exactly what to do with it, and I didn't want to overplay the whole loose S portion. So I decided to just text a few friends and family members and ask them, when you think of the Bahamas, what do you think of? Just give me one. And I got a long list, about like 50-something things, and I narrowed it down to about 10, and I used that for the pattern based off of the descriptions they gave. I feel like I'm just happy the country would get to see it. I think that's kind of what I'm mainly excited about. So I just excited to see what happens in each island or just on the whole.
Hi, my name is Darrell Williams, and my inspiration was Junkanoo, as well as Bahamian culture. It is definitely an honor. It makes me proud to actually be seen, you know, and be rewarded with the opportunity to do such a impactful piece of artwork? First of all, I start off with some research, and then I do a sketch, and from there we go to Junkanoo shapes and colors. I am proud to be a part of this collaboration, and Junkanoo, music, good vibes. That's what I need.
Hi, my name is Kristen Pindo. What inspired me was having all the islands of the Bahamas represented in a design. It's all about representing the Bahamas, Bahamians, and basically ourselves. I feel very excited, privileged, and honored to be one of the selections. I am overexcited. It's basically a legacy that I could show to my kids. What I'm looking forward to most is, one, seeing everyone's designs, and two, just celebrating with everyone in the Bahamas.
Now, please direct your attention to the west as the joint military bands of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force lead members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Cadets and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Rangers, who will present the Golden Jubilee flag to the Honorable Prime Minister.
Order, march. Party, move to the right, inbound.
All right, and march.
Comes up with the burning glow, shines down on paradise below, talking about the Bahamas, a beautiful land of gold. Oh, oh, my love, easy. Tell them be friendly. Oh, tell them be proud of the country. Tell them they will come see. And see I'm proud. To be a Bahamian, proud to be a Bahamian, proud to be a Bahamian, yes, I'll name this land to me. Onward, upward to boasting our rich culture, inspiring our young and old. With perseverance, we could win. Then lift up your heads to the rising sun. Our heroes left us a race to run. Let's protect our sovereignty. Yes, together in harmony. Let's be proud to be a Bahamian. Let's keep marching on. Give thanks for maker. The Bahamas is our home. I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm so proud to be a Bahamian. Oh, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'll make this land to me. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
Well, the Bay Street sky is filled with fireworks right now, and Bahamians have seen what the new logo and theme is for our Golden Jubilee. Of course, we heard during this program, in addition to all of the wonderful Bahamian performers, we heard from the chair, Her Excellency Leslie Miller Bryce, who spoke about the actual talent that we have that is all around the world in areas of academics and sports. And she encouraged us to remember that the Bahamas is definitely the greatest little country in the world. The Prime Minister encouraging everyone to take part in these independence celebrations. And already you see so many doing this, and this is just a launch. So we can expect a lot of this to come over the next several months. And we're told that these celebrations to mark the 50th will continue until July 2024. Well, so what a night we've had. We heard a little bit from the man who hoisted the flag on the 10th of July, 1973. He was then Sergeant Irvin Taylor. He retired as Chief Superintendent on the force. He had some very interesting stories to tell. And there's one that he didn't actually get a chance to tell, that something went wrong that night. Just before the actual flag was due to be raised, the lights went out on Clifford Park. But, you know, he said jokingly to me that, you know, before that night, he never had high blood pressure, but after that night, he did. But obviously, very proud of the role that he played in the development of our nation and the night it first became an independent country. But now you're getting ready to hear the Junkanoo rush out. And one family won both Junkanoo events this year, so that's what you're hearing tonight. One family, and they're coming on strong. Victory this Junkanoo season. One family showing off the black, gold, and aquamarine. Jim Anita, what do you think about tonight?
I had a wonderful time. I think it was an excellent kickoff to the Road to 50. We know we've been gearing up for it from last year. We've been talking about it. So now we have an idea of the logo, the theme, the part and what all went into it. I feel energized. How are you feeling? We saw culture on full display tonight.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bahamian, proud that I was there in 1973, and looking forward to being there and part of it all in 2023. I tell you what, though. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's awesome to see the two-time Junkanoo winners doing their thing on Bay Street, representative of culture in their national colors, too. I'm enjoying every moment of this performance.
Let us go now to Lloyd Allen, who's in the crowd. Lloyd, your final thoughts tonight.
And Julian, you know, it's been an amazing evening. We were out here since about just after 7 o'clock. Many persons turned out even after the show started. Even more were arriving here. And of course, as you can see behind me, the winners of the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo are performing here. Everyone's really excited. The Prime Minister is shaking a leg or two, and everyone's just pretty much having a great time. But of course, if you've not made your way out here tonight, you can still come on out. Several booths are out here, and it's a great experience again, celebrating 50th anniversary here in the Bahamas. Jimmy and Julian, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Lloyd. Well, that's it from Ross's Square. We now take our broadcast to the ZNS studios, where LaDawn Davis is standing by. LaDawn?
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, the Prime Minister lays out government's 2023 financial agenda. A new site for a new hospital here in the capital scoped out. Nurses across the country head to the polls. And in sports, the Great Exuma Classic closes out.